The Jasper Bulldogs, the West Orange Stark Mustangs, a rivalry that continues to grow. One of the biggest rivalries in high school football, and it's definitely one of the biggest rivalries in the 409. The Jasper Bulldogs, with a record of 1-4, leave the friendly confines of Jasper High School, the big house, and they head down to take on the West Orange Stark Mustangs, who have a preseason record of 2-3. They'll be in the outskirts of the 409. We're going to break this thing down, and I'm going to let you know what to expect from both teams ahead of this big rivalry. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's time now. All the talk is over with. The preseason football, you've got it out of the way, and now the district race starts. As I stated earlier, the Jasper Bulldogs are 1-4. The West Orange Stark Mustangs are 2-3. But right now, it doesn't matter. Both teams are 0-0. Both teams are going to be trying to win, trying to get a win so they can try to get into the playoffs, so they can head up to Jerry's World. Try to get to Jerry's World, Bizarro World, to the Texas State UIL Championship game. Now, we're going to break this thing down. But before we start, I'm going to tell you I appreciate all my subscribers out there. Appreciate all you guys and girls sticking with me. Appreciate you hitting the like and subscribe and the donate button. We've been getting donations, so we definitely appreciate it. Now, I want to ask you, where were you at? Where were you at? Some of you probably want to feel in. Do you remember back in the 80s when the West Orange Stark Mustangs and the Jasper Bulldogs first started getting it on, when Kevin Smith picked the pass off in the old Alamo Dome, and he breaks down the sideline, and Clifford Norman with that electrifying speed goes and gets him, but the West Orange Stark Mustangs still pulled the game out. Where were you at when the Bulldogs, with all those great football players, about 20 guys went Division I with the likes of Michael McFarland, Cedric Hafford, James Bevel, and so many more, go down and take out the West Orange Stark Mustangs, but then the West Orange Stark Mustangs in the playoffs? Chris Hunt fumbled the football over and over again, and the West Orange Stark Mustangs took them out and went on to win the state championship. So many games. Here recently, 2 years ago, or last season, Isaiah Coleman passed for about 400 yards against the West Orange Stark Mustangs. But at the end of the game, the West Orange Stark coaching staff got the job done, and they pulled the game out in one of the most exciting games that has ever been played between the two teams. The West Orange Stark Mustangs have made it formally known that one of the biggest games they ever played, even though they won some state championship games, was against the Jasper Bulldogs. So that you know it's going to be on and popping. So let's start with the West Orange Stark Mustangs. The West Orange Stark Mustangs are big. They are big and they are strong. They've got some big offensive linemen that are up on that can move. They've got good feet. They've got their quarterback. They took a 4-star wide receiver who's fast. He's big and he's fast, and they moved him to quarterback. And I'm here to tell you, just by me sitting there and breaking him down in all the games they play, this young man can play. He's what I call a modern day gunslinger, a true dual threat quarterback. He will drop back in the pocket. He will make his play action passes, play action fakes. He will drop back in the pocket, and he will stand tall. He's technically sound, and he will launch the football. He has about 5 to 6 weapons out there that he can get the football to. So he's gonna be a hell of a guy that we're gonna have to be able to deal with. The West Orange Stark Mustangs also have a running back, or should I say 2 or 3 running backs, who can get the football down the field when you hand it to them. So they're gonna be definitely a challenge for the Jasper Bulldogs. As I sit back and evaluate them, the West Orange Stark Mustangs, they both run the similar type of offenses, but the West Orange Stark Mustangs throw the football across the field, down the field. They do swing passes. So the Jasper Bulldogs and Coach Malcolm Brunson, we'll talk about that in a little bit, they're going to have to be ready. But I'm telling you, the one thing that stands out to me is their offensive line and how big these young men are. There are some big kids. They are definitely some big kids, and they're fundamentally sound. I was watching their footwork and their technique, and they give their quarterback time to stand in the pocket. And those receivers, they run good routes. But when the quarterback, I'm telling you right now, the quarterback for the West Orange Stark Mustangs will pull the football down, and he has electrifying speed. Now, don't you let their record fool you, just like you can't let the Jasper Bulldogs record fool you, because they've been playing bigger schools. And I'm telling you, they're going to be ready to play some football down in West Orange Stark. They're going to be prepared to play some football. Defensively, the Western Stark or the Mustangs are a quick football team. They're a quick football team. They get pressure on the quarterback, and they can definitely stop the run. They will be able to stop the running game. Their defense, they've had good players in their secondary. And just overall, my overall breakdown of the Western Stark Mustangs is that they will be a formidable foe for the Jasper Bulldogs, and the Bulldogs are going to have to be ready. So we're going to keep this thing rolling, but before we do, once again, I'm going to need you to hit the like and subscribe button. Hit the like and subscribe button and the donate button. And now, what I'm going to also want you to do is I'm going to want you to comment on this video, and then next week, next Wednesday night, I've already said this, I'm going to have a call-in show. Well, I'm going to have a call-in show, I think, but it depends on if you call into the show, then you're going to be able to give your comment. I'm going to talk about your comment, and I'm also going to take this video and whatever comments that are in the comment section. I'm going to do a video probably Tuesday just about your comments. But if you do call into the show, you just make sure that if you're calling with some crazy stuff, we're not going to take your call, or we're going to blink you out. But if you got some serious comments about what you think about the football game, no matter whether you play for Western Stark or whoever, we're going to talk about your comment. So let's keep this thing rolling. We're going to be talking about the Jasper Bulldogs now. Now, the Jasper Bulldogs, also their record, you cannot be fooled by the Jasper Bulldogs record. The Jasper Bulldogs have been playing some formidable people. I'm telling you right now, the Jasper Bulldogs played teams like Tyler Chapel Hill. They played the Carthage Bulldogs. So both teams have played some really, really good competition leading into this game. So what is the Jasper Bulldogs? What do the Jasper Bulldogs need to do to be able to go down and be able to compete and probably get a win against the Western Stark Mustang? The Jasper Bulldogs and Coach Malcolm Bronson is going to have to be ready. The Jasper Bulldogs defense, you cannot, I repeat, you cannot blow coverages. You got to stay in your lanes, because if you do not stay in your lanes, and if you do not take care of your responsibility, then the Western Stark Mustangs and their quarterback will dissect you and pick you apart. The Jasper Bulldogs also have to find a way to put pressure on the quarterback. I'm here to tell you, when they come out in that 4 wide set, the very first thing, and I'm talking to you coaches out there, the very first thing we all know as a coach, they come out in 4 wide, you got to put some pressure. You got to blitz. You got to get some pressure on the quarterback to make him get the football out of his hands. Next, the defensive line for the Jasper Bulldogs and the linebacking core for the Jasper Bulldogs. Defensive linemen, you're going to have to keep some you're going to have to be getting back there in the backfield and making sure that those linemen aren't chipping off of you and getting back to the linebackers to keep them from being a vital part of the defensive scheme for the Jasper Bulldogs. Once again, but the biggest key to the game, and when it comes to that, is the defensive lineman for the Jasper Bulldogs. We got to find a way to get pressure on their quarterback with just 4 people. Now, I will also tell you that we're going to probably have to go too high safety, because they've got some formidable kids out there who can run some routes, and we've got some younger kids that are going to be playing cornerback for us. So we're going to have to go too high safety and don't give up shock plays. And shock plays are plays when they run a ball a couple of times, then all of a sudden they throw a bomb over the top. We cannot allow that to happen. So for us to be able to stop that from happening, we're going to have to go too high safety, and the defensive line and linebackers, you got to bring that wood. You got to hit the quarterback every single play. Now, in the secondary, our young secondary players, you got to stick to them like glue. We'd rather let you give up a 15-yard penalty than to give them up a bomb. But the one thing that you can do to deter any wide receiver, when they touch that football, you got to legally, and I do mean legally, bring the wood to the Western Stark Mustangs receivers. That's key. Let's keep this thing rolling. Offensively, what do we have to do against the Western Stark Mustangs? Well, I already told you they're quick. We've got to find a way. Our offensive line has to step up. We've got to find a way to be able to run the football this week, or when the game starts. We've got to be able to run the football. Next up, we've got to run some screen plays to slow them down. And most importantly, we've got to make sure that when we get the football into the weapons' hands, as the quarterback, If it's we've got to make sure that we're putting the football out there to the guys to make sure that they're getting good passive receptions, not throwing the ball too high. Trevor, you're gonna have to put it on Major. You got to put it on Major. You got to put it on Roger. You got to put it on Womack so they can get the football and make some plays with it. Okay, now, next thing is offensively. We can't just rely on throwing bombs. This is a game where our offensive line is going to have to stand tall. Our quarterback is going to have to stand in there and look down the gun barrel and stand in there and know you're going to get hit. But you got to follow through and pass the football, crossing routes, out routes, dig routes. We've got to do that to make sure that we make them respect us, because if they do not respect our passing game, they will crowd the line of scrimmage. And that's what we want them to do, though, because if I'm telling you right now, if they try to double somebody on the outside like Roger Garza Adams, this is a game where we got to run reverse plays to get the ball in Major's hand in open space. We've got to leave our pride to the side. We've got to get that football to Major Armstrong at least 14 or 15 times in open space so he can be electrifying. We've got to put Major Armstrong. He's going to have to play both ways. We've got to put him at corner. And in this game, Major, we need some interceptions. We need some interceptions to shut their wide receivers down. On the outside, Roger Garza Adams, we're going to need you to shut them down. Cam, we're going to need you to bring that wood. Special teams will play a vital role in this football game. When we do kick the ball off short, we always kick it over to the side, but we got to stay in our lanes. We cannot get out of our lanes, because we get out of our lanes, it'll be just like last week. They're going to catch it on one side. They're going to use that electrifying speed and try to take it around the corner and take it to the house with us. Deep snaps. We cannot have any kind of plays where we're snapping the ball over the guy's head or have blocked field goals. So special teams is going to play a key. And in this game, I would like to see us put Roger, Major, and them back there. If they kick it, no fair catching to get it and make an electrifying play. Make an electrifying play. Make an electrifying play. It's going to be, I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a hell of a game. I don't care what you've seen so far this season. This football game between the Jasper Bulldogs and West Orange Stark Mustangs will set the tone for the 409 in the SEC of the 409 with the likes of Jasper, West Orange Stark, Silsby, Hampshire Fournette, and I will not leave out Cold Spring. What's the team? Tarkington and Shepherd. I will not leave them out. But I'm telling you right now, for the big boys, this will set the tone for the 409 moving forward. So those are some of the things that I see within the game, just breaking it down, what we're going to have to do. And another thing, we're going to have to be loud in the stands. The fans of the Bulldogs, we need to pack the stadium, because I'm telling you, this is a big-time football game. And we've got to make sure that our kids get that support. We got to leave our egos and pride to the side about who should be doing this. You already know that we got to get the ball into our playmakers' hands. We got to get the ball into the playmakers' hands. We got to get it to them in space. We got to get it to them in space. And I'm telling you right now that it's going to be a hell of a football game. The Jasper Bulldogs, the West Orange Stark Mustangs, October the 10th, 2025 at 7:30 p.m. You know the Mustang Nation going to be ready. You know they going to be ready. Another epic classic. That's what I'm looking for. This is Alan with D9J Sports. Jump in the comments. Let me know exactly what you're thinking. I'm definitely OU.